for this short week. I hope that you had a fabulous holiday weekend if you're in the US. I'm Marissa Krupa, and I'm broadcasting live from the traditional tribal lands of the Blackfeet and Kootenai people here in central Montana. If this is your first time joining the Monday Un-Madness, welcome. I'm an integrative leadership coach, and I'll be taking you through a series of mindfulness techniques to help prevent burnout and elevate your leadership. Today's focus is on how we do and don't show up for ourselves, and it's a taste of how to start diving into the patterns and the habits mentally and emotionally that really prevent us from getting to where we want to be. So if this is your first time watching this live show, make sure you have a journal handy, and we're going to begin with our assessment. So this is just for this moment of now, on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is like you've got 1 foot in the grave. 10 is like, it's the best day ever. And so pick a number from 1 to 10 about where you're feeling in your totality. So it's mind, body, spirit. So in your wholeness, what is the number that it feels right for you? And if you need to, you can then jot that down for later. All right, so on this next piece, when we get into our movement, I want you to really focus on your mindset. What is happening in your mind? What are the thoughts going through your mind as we go into our movement section? Okay, so pay special attention and focus on that as we go through this. Now, I'm going to be adjusting the camera for a minute and standing towards the back of the room so that you can see our full body, my full body. And so be prepared to kind of try something a little bit new today. Let's see if this will do it. I'm going to go a little bit lower. Thanks for bearing with me. All right, let's try this. Okay, fantastic. So especially if you are wearing high-heeled shoes, please kick them off. And if you've got foot funk, don't worry about it, because it's about you. It's not about what other people are smelling. So I'm on barefoot here. And what we're going to do is just start with our grandfather's coat. So just swinging the arms, allowing them to be slack, and just opening up our spine. I'm a little bit close to the wall, so I'm kind of controlling my arms. All right, fantastic. So just gently opening up the spine. Alrighty, let's pause this movement and come back to neutral. And now we're going to do Donna Eden's like across the chest, and this is balancing our energies. Again, it's bringing both sides of the hemispheres of the brain online. It's bringing both sides of the body online. So start with you can start with your left or your right arm. I'll go the opposite of you. So right side, squeeze the shoulder with your hand, and then draw from the shoulder across your torso to your hip, where the hip bone is. Other side, squeeze the shoulder, draw across. So let's do a few more of these. You can go as fast or as slow as feels good to you. Alrighty, and now let's pause this movement. And now we're going to go into a yoga pose. It's called Vrksasana, or tree pose. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. So again, we're trying something new. It's the middle of your workday. Keep an eye out for what your mind is telling you. Already, if your mind is like, what the hell is she having us do today? That's something to take note of, right? Alrighty, so what I want you to do is to root your right foot down into the ground. Now you can do this in a variety of ways. You can already see I'm leaning towards the side, okay? So you can just take the heel of your left foot and lean it against the right leg with just the toes on the ground. So everybody, let's just try this. Then take your hands at prayer at heart center. If you're feeling like, oh, okay, this is pretty good, I can balance here. Now let's intensify it by taking your arms up to the sky. And if you can still feel pretty solid here, that's great. Now let's intensify it by closing your eyes or softening your gaze on the floor in front of you. What happens there? A little bit harder. Okay, beautiful. Take the hands down and release your foot. Now you have the choice as to how much farther you want to go. So you can either continue on with the foot here on the same side, or go up to your calf, or go up to your thigh. Okay? And if you're going to do the thigh, and if you practiced this before, you'll need to press from this thigh, the opposite leg, into the other leg. I'm not sure I can get that today, so I'm going to just do calf. So again, rooting down. Imagine that you are a tree, rooting all the way down to the ground. Take your leg as high as you want to take it. Take your hands to your heart. Notice what happens if you fall out of this pose. What are you telling yourself? Now, if you can intensify it, take your arms up. Great. If you're still balanced, notice what your mind is telling you. If you care to intensify it, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Oh, I'm getting wobbly when I close my eyes. Deep breath in, exhale, release. All right, great job, you guys. We're doing something kind of new and weird, so good for you for giving it a try. All right, let's do the second side. Rooting in the left leg. We're just going to practice by going the tip of the right foot, the heel rests onto the left leg, the inner left leg, a little bit above the ankle. Palms come together at heart center. Just stand and breathe. So here's our kind of our baby tree. Now intensify this by taking your arms up to the sky, palms facing in. Continue to just breathe your normal breath. Notice what your mind is telling you. Notice if there's a difference between right and left sides. Now intensify this by closing your eyes. Nice job, everybody. Breathing your natural breath. And open your eyes, palms together. Release your hands, release your foot. Just stand and breathe. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice what's happening in your mind. No need to change anything. You're just noticing. Just noticing. So now we know what's going to happen next. So think about how high do you want to bring your leg. You can do the calf. You can keep it down on the floor, or you can bring it all the way up to your thigh. And if you do that, you will need to press deeply. This is such a slick fabric here. You'll need to press deeply into the outer thigh. So I'm going to not do that, and instead I'll just go to my calf. All right, before we begin, root down through the left foot, taking a nice deep breath, and lift up the right leg, place it to where you want it to be. Palms together at heart center. Stand and breathe. To intensify this, take the arms up to the ceiling. Notice what happens now. Notice what your mind is telling you now. And if you care to, intensify this again by closing your eyes. Beautiful. If you've closed your eyes, open them. Palms come together, down to heart center. Release your foot, release your arms. Stand and breathe. Notice the experience, what's happening in your body. Sensations you might be feeling. Mind issues that you might be feeling. Okay? Now we're going to do this one more time. So you can pick whichever leg you want to do. We're just going to do it once, but we're going to use the wall. So if you can, find a wall. You can also use a chair, especially if you're only going low, and you can rest your knee against a chair. So I'm going to go here and use my right knee. I'm about maybe a foot to foot and a half away from the wall. I know that that's a pretty good height for me. So I'm going to root into the outside leg, the leg that's away from the wall. And again, coming up to, I'm a little too far, so I'm going to move back, move closer. All right, that's a little too close. So it may take a minute for you to adjust. All right, so now I know I'm in the right spot. Rooting down. Take the inside knee to wherever you want to take it. Okay. Palms at heart center. Stand and breathe. Now take your arms up, intensify. Oh, but the wall's there to steady me. How about that? While your arms are up, now close your eyes or soften your gaze. Notice the difference. What does it feel like to have this wall? Deep in breath here. Exhale, palms come together. Open your eyes. Release your foot, release your arms. Stand and breathe. What was that experience like when you were using the wall? All right, and then for our final, we always do the Donna Eden's hookup. So coming back a little bit closer so you can see. So you're using either your index or your middle finger, one or the other, and then just notch that towards your belly button. If you've got an innie, it'll be a hole. If you've got an outie, you just press onto the belly button. And then take the same finger on the opposite hand, place it in between your eyebrows, gently push in and pull up. And just breathe for a few rounds of your natural breath here. And release. All righty. Now we're going to come into 1 minute of stillness. So I'll be timing this. And all we're going to do is just focus on our breath for 1 minute with no other distractions, not doing anything else. All right. And go. No need to change anything. Just noticing our natural breath. And that is time. Nice work, everybody. All right. For our journal prompts today, we are going to really examine what was happening in that. Let's see, I wonder if I can make this. Let's see. There we go. All right. So when you were going through that Vrksasana tree pose, what were some of the thoughts that came into your mind while we did that exercise? Jot those down. And then ask yourself, after you've written a few of those thoughts down, was your thought stream generally positive or generally negative? Again, no judgment here, no shame or blame, just noticing and acknowledging what you experienced. Now think back to when we repositioned and we used the wall. Probably for most of us, it was a steadier experience. What thoughts occurred then? Did anything change? Jot those thoughts down when we use the wall. Okay, I've got a couple more for you today because we're doing a little bit deeper dive. Now ask yourself this question. Is what my mind told me during this exercise really true? Is what my mind told me during this exercise really true? Look back to what you wrote down. Maybe some things were true and some things weren't. Just notice and quickly jot down what was really true about what your mind told you. And then finally, what did I learn about how I treat myself by examining this thought stream during this exercise? What did I learn about how I treat myself by examining this thought stream during this exercise? Even if it was about the ick of taking your shoes off during your workday, that tells you a lot about yourself. All right, everybody, fantastic job. So, I hope that by going through this experience, you have started to see and identify some thought patterns that you may not have realized just how ingrained they really are. But I tell you what, when we get into a physical situation where we are doing something different and new with our bodies, how we think about ourselves and the world will come in instantly. That pattern is just right there. And when we take the time to look at it through an experience like this, we actually have a chance to shift it. But if we can never see it, if we can never identify this thought pattern, it will continue to sabotage or confound us and our goals, whether it's our career goals or leadership goals or personal goals. It will continue to influence them without us ever having a chance to do anything about it. So I really want to applaud you today for taking the healthy risk of doing this movement with me and examining some of the patterns that may have come up during this exercise. Alrighty, before we leave, let's do our assessment one more time. So now we're we're using the same scale, 1 to 10. 1, almost on my deathbed. 10, fabulous. Assess where is your mind, heart, and spirit in this moment of now. And compare it now to your first number. My hope is that it is higher and that you are in a more fabulous place than you were 20 minutes ago. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. And then what do you do now from here? So for several of you, you've been coming to the LinkedIn Lives every time. Okay, this is falling out, so I'm going to let it go. So you've been coming every time. And where do you go from here? Well, you've got a couple of options. So you can connect with me with an instant message or private message or whatever they call it. And we can have a one-on-one and we can review where are you at, where do you want to go, what are you struggling with, and do an assessment and start to build a plan. So just private message me directly to do that. I also have a small group coaching cohort thingy, whatever you want to call it, coming up starting on October 17th. And so I'm going to put that information into the chat so that you can check it out. And that is often a really great way to start to deepen this work and get into really cultivating like um, where you want to take the mindfulness piece. Okay. Um, so what will happen with that is we're going to be, so it's limited only to 12 people. So depending on how many people sign up, we'll have either 2 groups of 6 or 3 groups of 4. I like to stay smaller, so it'll probably be 3 groups of 4. And then we'll be really focusing on gaining clarity, especially if you are in a place in your career where you're looking around your career landscape and you're like, what do I do here? Like, do I go up the ladder? Because going up the ladder looks really stressful and I'm already stressed out. Or do I pivot to a totally new career, but do I really have the energy for that? And then also, or do I hang up my shingle and I just become an entrepreneur? So that's what this leadership community is all about. It's about developing self-awareness and using those leadership skills to lead yourself as well as to lead others. And what you might find as you begin to integrate more deeply into your everyday life some of these mindfulness techniques is you don't need to go anywhere. You just needed a reset for yourself. And now you feel much better in your job and you just want to stay there and keep working there for a while. And that's okay too. So sometimes, this compulsion to run away is not always the answer. But how do you even get to the answer if you're burned out and stressed out and your nervous system is, up on the ceiling? So that's what this community is all about. I encourage you to check it out. Thank you so much for attending. Always lovely to have you. And I'm wishing you a very peaceful Tuesday that's actually a Monday. I hope you have a wonderful short week, and we will be meeting again on Monday, September 15th. So stay tuned for that information.